Good afternoon, Cross Timbers. Today is March 27, 2014, and this is Texan TV News from Tarleton State University's campus in Stephenville, Texas, and I am Lura Rylant. In today's headlines, Charlotte mayor resigns after being arrested, Zeta Phi Beta new member presentation, Stephenville business still not paid by Prime Construction Company, former East Texas Sheriff Deputy sentenced to 6 years in federal prison, a fire in the Brownstone traps and kills 2 firefighters, the hunt for the drone Malaysian jetliner continues, Tarleton State's Brenna Hemmen named Lone Star Conference Pitcher of the Week, and now in today's top stories from the Associated Press. Charlotte Mayor Patrick Conan, who has been in office less than 6 months, resigned Wednesday. He was arrested and accused of taking more than $48,000 in bribes from undercover FBI agents posing as businessmen who wanted to do work with North Carolina's largest city. The 48-year-old Cannon is charged with bribery and public corruption. The Democrat took cash, airline tickets, a hotel room, and use of luxury apartments as bribes and solicited more than $1 million, according to criminal complaint from the U.S. Attorney's Office. Cannon said his registration letter that pending charges will create too much of a distraction for the business of the city to go forward. He said he regrets that he has to take this action, but believes that it is in the best interest of the city. According to compliant FBI agents posing as commercial real estate developers, paid Cannon on 5 separate occasions between January 2013 and February 2014. Cannon accepted cash in exchange for access to city officials responsible for planning, zoning, and permitting. If convicted, all of the charges, Cannon faces up to 50 years in prison and more than $1 million in fines. Now in campus news, reporter Carly West was able to attend the probate for Zeta Phi Beta Sorority, Inc. this past Wednesday, and here's her report of the event. Chartered in 1994, Sigma Omicron chapter of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority, Inc. is the only non-Panhellenic sorority on Tarleton State University's campus. This past Wednesday, Zeta Phi Beta held their annual new member presentation, where they introduced 3 new members into their sorority. Collecting tickets at the door, they raised over $1,300 for their March of Dimes charity event, and President Kendall Adams of Zeta Phi Beta commented on the outcome.
Sigma Omicron chapter is really exciting. There's the opportunity to grow, and it's kind of like the rebirth of like bringing in our new girls, so it's just exciting. It's just awesome.
Zetas from TWU, UNT, and UTA also came to support the new members of the Sigma Omicron chapter. Now in regional news, the Stephenville Empire-Tribune reports that tension are mounting for local businesses who have not yet been paid by Prime Construction Company for the work they've done on Stephenville's new fire station. City Administrator Mark Kaiser said the city sent out notifications this month to businesses who were contracted by Prime. The city understands this is a frustrating situation, and we're trying to do everything we can to help local businesses get paid, said Kaiser. The first delay business owners saw was from the time the fire department moved into the station in November to the final payment was released to Prime in February. Kaiser said during the time, Prime should have paid subcontractors who were owed money, which was something the city believed they had already done. With the release of the final payment, Kaiser said the contractor usually takes 30 days to make final payments to subcontractors and settle all debts on the building contract. When March 7th came and went with no payments, the city of Stephenville began hearing from business owners. Because of the city purchased a bond on the company, local businesses aren't going to be placed liens on the fire station or against the city and will get their money. The liens will be handled by the bonding company, something Brady Pendleton, attorney representing some local businesses, said Prime doesn't want that to happen. Pendleton said each business that has not received payment will file a claim with Hudson. Normally the bond company will pay the businesses, then investigate the reason for non-payment. Kaiser said upset businesses upset business owners can contact the city, but the only thing he can do at this point is give them information to file a claim. It's said Mark Miller, owner of Mimico, but we appreciate Mr. Kaiser and the city has been doing to help us. They've gone above and beyond and is trying at this point to point us in the right direction. And now in today's Texas national and international news from the Associated Press. A former East Texas sheriff deputy who dealt drugs while on duty has been sentenced to 6 years in federal prison. Prosecutors in Tyler on Wednesday announced the punishment for 39-year-old Kimberk Benhard Jones. Jones worked as a Smith County Sheriff's Department until being fired after his arrest last July on 2 counts of drug distribution. In October, Jones pleaded guilty for the conspiracy, 2 processes with intent, and 2 distributions of methamphetamine and his crack cocaine. Investigators found illegal drugs in the deputy's patrol car. Jones, who'd been employed by the Sheriff's Department in Tyler for about 10 years, was sentenced Tuesday, March 25th. Now in national news, a fire driven by strong winds raced through Brownstone on Wednesday, trapping and killing 2 firefighters in the basement, where their colleagues could not rescue them. 13 other firefighters were injured in the blaze, and several police officers also were taken to hospitals. Some residents had to be rescued from the upper floors on the 4-story apartment building, but none were hurt. City officials said today's a sad day for the city of Boston. Mayor Marty Wilson said he lost 2 heroes here today. The firefighters were identified as Lt. Edward J. Walsh and 43-year-old father of 3 and firefighter Michael R. Kennedy, a 33-year-old Marine Corps combat veteran. Deputy Fire Chief Joseph Finn said that the fire appeared to have started in the basement but moved quickly throughout the building. The cause of the fire wasn't known, but he said all indications was that of accidental, and it was the wind that caused the fire to spread through the building so quickly. Now, in international news, more satellite images have been given searches the latest clues in the hunt for the drone Malaysian jetliner. As the planes flew out of Australia on Thursday, turning to spot 122 objects seen floating in the turbulent Indian Ocean, where officials believe the missing passenger jet may have crashed. In total, 11 planes and 5 ships were set to score a search area of 1,550 miles southwest of Perth on Australia's western coast. But the Australian Maritime Safety Attorney cautioned the weather was expected to deteriorate later Thursday. 19 days into the mystery of the Flight 370 that vanished early March 8th, en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing, the discovery of sizable objects offered the most credible lead that we have, a top Malaysian official said Wednesday. With search in motion, Malaysian officials said again sought to angry relatives on the flight passengers. The latest satellite image captured Sunday are the first to suggest deputies' fires in the plane rather than just isolated objects. The items were spotted in roughly the same area as other objects and previously seen Australian and Chinese satellites. The planes and the ships from the U.S., China, and Japan, and South Korea, Australia, and the New Zealand are involved in the hunt, hoping to find even a single piece of the jet that could offer tangible evidence of the crash and provide clues to locate of the wreckage. In sports news from Tarleton State University, for the first time this season and the second time of her career, Tarleton State's Brenna Hennan was named the Lone Star Conference Pitcher of the Week. Hennan was spectacular in Tarleton's 4-game sweep of eastern New Mexico last weekend, winning both of her pitch performances against the Zions. the junior hurdler threw her second complete game shout-out to the seasons in the second game of the last Friday's doubleheader as Texans knocked off ENMU's 8-0 in 5 innings. She followed up by keeping the Zions in check during the tightest game of the weekend, holding ENMU to 1 run in a complete game 2-1 win in Saturday's final. For the weekend, she pitched 12 innings, allowing just 1 earned run for a .58 ERA, allowing 11 hits with 3 walks and 6 strikeouts. Hennon and the Texans will head to Cannon this weekend to face off against West Texas A&M beginning Friday at 5 p.m. In today's weather forecast, reported the Weather Channel is expected a high of 84 degrees and a low of 52 degrees later this evening. Today's broadcast was produced by Shelby Hilton and Carly West. Don't forget to tell your friends about us and become a fan on Texan TV News on Facebook. I'm Lura Rylant, and tune in tomorrow for the latest news from Tarleton State University's campus in Stephenville, Texas.